Hey, welcome back to the Frank Driscoll Show. Got something that some couple people have been asking me about. Uh, Frank, what's the best way to schedule the day? Great question. Great question. And you know what? This goes straight from my coaching. When I first start with people, they'll usually tell me, "Hey, I want to improve, and I want to, make twice the money, three times the money. I want to, build this or do that." And the very first things that we kind of look at, and I noticed this also when when I was paid to go out to do a speaking event, I was with the host and I was really able to see what this person was doing every day. And then they asked me, "Hey, what areas could I improve?" And I said, "Okay, well let's take a look." So the very first thing we want to do is get an accountability of what we're doing every single day with our time. This is absolutely massive. If you really want to improve, I'm going to go through and break down exactly the best ways to do that right now. So, very first thing is let's just get a baseline. Let's start writing down your time from when you start the day. What the activities are you doing? Just, every hour. I like to break it down into 15-minute increments just to get a nice feel. But just what are we doing with that time every 15 minutes? Okay. What have we accomplished? What are we focused on? And let's just get some baseline numbers of where we're at, right? So for most typical people, they usually schedule their particular days around appointments they have. So like in real estate, they go, "Oh, I have a listing presentation at 6 o'clock. I've got, this meeting, right? It's online. It's a mastermind. I'm going to do that from 10 to 11. And then I want to eat lunch at 12. And then let's just say most of the rest of the day, right, is generally just appointment based. Like if we have an appointment, that's on our calendar, that's what's scheduled. But most of the time, for typically what I see at the start, it's a lot of free times. Yeah, they might say prospecting in a vague term throughout the day or in the morning, or they might have other activities that they want to do. Maybe it's, go through and, skill up on a training or coaching, read a book, YouTube, whatever, right? In a Facebook, getting ideas for the day or whatever it is. But now let's look at that so we can get a baseline of what we're doing every day. And here is going to be one big kind of secret, right? For those that know it's not, but for those that don't, everything that we do, that we're doing on a daily basis, from, how much we weigh, how much success we've had, or what we're doing is typically in our comfort zones, right? So we're in this zone and we kind of do the same things all the time, and then it produces the same results all the time. So we have to understand that to really get the things we want outside of our comfort zone, we're going to have to do things that we don't normally do, right? So let's start with our schedule. So from now on, what I want you to do is after you've kind of written the things out, look at the things that would be like an S tier or an A tier activities that are making money, right? And we're going to try to eliminate as many as we can of the things that are not producing as effectively, right? So when we go through our schedule every 15 minutes, start writing out the things like what would be an ideal day. That would be a really good place to start. What would be my ideal day, right? And if you want to comment down below what your ideal day is, great. You can reach out to me too, and I'll do whatever I can to help as well. Maybe make some adjustments. But now all of a sudden, we've written out, and usually we want to plan the day before, right, of what activities we want to do. Worst case in the morning is fine, but I always prefer to actually plan your day the day ahead so that when we just get to the day, we're just hitting it. So now we're scheduling through our activities every 15 minutes, and we're going through, and it could be like visualization. It could be go to the gym. Maybe we're exercising 45 minutes or an hour. That's fine. It goes through and we write that in. Now we might get to shower, get ready, right? Now we might start right with prospecting, okay? And we're writing that out for the length of time. I like to put how we did. I like to set goals for these as well, but it's a little bit more advanced. For right now, just measure it. Go through your day and write it out. And then at the end, review how you did. Okay. All of a sudden, now you're much more accountable and on point. And now we can add pieces or adjust as needed. But there's so many people that really don't schedule their day, so the day ends up running them, right? A famous Jim Rohn quote, right? So we want to make sure we're running the day or the day runs you. So that's a big way to help ensure that that happens is by writing it out 15-minute increments, going through and then reviewing it at the end of the day, getting a grade. And if you want like more of these tips, just jump in, either free or paid coaching, whichever one you want to run Mastermind, and we can go into greater detail and you can reach out to me. But if you start doing this from right now, breaking out of that comfort zone, right, of getting the same results that you've always been getting, start to plan your day in 15-minute increments. Even after work is done, that's fine. Go ahead and even the fun stuff. Plan, right? Like if you're gonna, watch a show or relax, play video games. I don't really care what it is, read a book. Uh, Plan that time too, so it's deliberate and you will be surprised how fast you improve. It's crazy, right? It's some of the fastest levels you're going to improve is once you start taking full accountability of your time. And this is, like I said, one of the most powerful things you can do because what happens if you don't? Man, you can waste hours on things you didn't want to do, and you look at the end of the day and you realize, well, why aren't I more productive? Why aren't I making more money? Why aren't I more effective? Well, you're simply not focusing and guiding the time in the areas that would be the most efficient. In a later one, we'll go into kind of exactly what ideal activities in each section are. We've kind of covered that in other videos a little bit about the prospecting point at the beginning, but we can go into greater detail, right? But for right now, I just want you to start plan your day 15-minute increments, plan it ahead, and then follow through on that, and then make sure that these are the areas you want. And then what happens is we gradually change. So each week we can review, and each day we can review, okay, what are we doing? What do we want to do differently? Right? Then we can set some goals for that time as well. Say, okay, I want this to happen in this hour or this time period. All right. Hopefully these things help. Please like and subscribe if it does. I'm going to really, really try to step up and bring massive value for you. So really appreciate you being here, checking in, every day, really, and just seeing if I have the next one updated for you guys. I'm going to push really hard to get as consistent and doing everything I can to delivering massive value, entertain, have some fun, but really help improve you. So hopefully you liked it, and we'll see you on the next one. And thank you so much. I really appreciate your support. Take care.